Welcome to FP Executive. My name is Matt Hartley. I am the technology reporter for the Financial Post. I'm here with Stewart Cawthray. He is a senior IT security architect for IBM. Stewart, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Probably the biggest security story in the news right now is the Stuxnet virus or worm, which has infected some nuclear plants in Iran and other countries. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about what Stuxnet actually is and how it works.
Sure. Stuxnet, as you mentioned, is a worm, slightly different from a virus. The difference between being a worm is it's self-propagating. So it's designed to find its way around and move from computer to computer automatically. It doesn't require user interaction to do that, which makes it kind of difficult because once it's released, it starts moving, and trying to track it and stop it and control it becomes difficult.
So you don't actually have to tell the worm where to go?
Nope. The worm is given the intelligence to do two things. One, infect a computer and then try and move on to another computer, and then look at that computer for its specific target of what it's supposed to then affect. So in this case of Stuxnet, as you mentioned, nuclear facilities are one, but it is particularly targeted at control software for things of nuclear facilities, power plants, railway systems, elevators. It's a large sort of variety of different types of control equipment that Stuxnet is targeting.
So it's more of infrastructure?
It's very much infrastructure targeted.
Okay.
Yeah.
But with a worm like this, which you say is self-propagating, I mean, you can see how something like this could be created to go after data systems or anything like that. Is this something CIOs need to be worried about?
Absolutely. Worms are actually malware of any kind CIOs need to be worried about. Stuxnet is unique in that, by most experts' estimations, it is the most sophisticated worm that has been released into the wild to date. The coding practices and the way the way it's built don't map to any of the sort of underground kind of hacker type worms.
The hackers are getting more creative.
Yeah, they believe it is more of a state-sponsored worm that's been released, and that's obviously they can't pinpoint who, but because of how sophisticated it is, that's where it's concerning, because it's using techniques that have never been used before.
And now, obviously, this sort of state-sponsored cyber terrorism, or whatever you want to call it, has become a bigger issue, especially this year. I mean, earlier this year we had the whole situation with Google and China. Do you expect these kinds of things to become, maybe more prevalent as we go along?
Absolutely. These are the things that CIOs need to be worried about. Stuxnet, on the example, if I'm a CIO of an infrastructure company, I run a nuclear plant or a power facility or a railway system, much more concerning to me for that. If I'm the CIO of a bank or a retail organization, less concerning. But the techniques that are being used in Stuxnet could easily be turned to target other industries. The malware in general is a concern. It's one of the risks that CIOs need to be concerned about. What's getting into their environment, and once it's in, what is it able to do within their environment?
What's the most common entry point for malware for an IT environment within a retail organization or within, say, a bank?
Most common, mobile devices, laptops,
Really?
Cell phones, anything that gets outside of the traditional perimeter of the corporate network. Anything, and that includes just working on the internet, going to websites, basic browsing. It's a concept called drive-by downloading, where you go to a site which you think is perfectly benign, and that site has been compromised by a hacker to secretly install malware on your machine. So you go to a newspaper site, and that newspaper site has a hidden frame which you don't see, but that frame is connecting to a hacker's website and downloading malware as you're reading the newspaper. It's dangerous, the things, and the only way to really protect against it is there's actually some basic things: keeping your antivirus up to date, making sure all your security patches are applied to your computer. Those basic techniques are your best defense against these type of things.
Great. Stay right there. We'll be right back with Stewart Cawthray.